There's one thing I want you to do for me.
What?
Come here.
What?
Win.
What are we waiting for?
You know what you gotta do. Do it.
How you feel what's about to happen on this field, man?
It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
Everything that you got to see the minute. That's all that's there between you and immortality.
Ready for this. He is going deep, and an infinite touchdown is separated.
All that relentless.
Are you spirit? Are you power? Are you love? Give me what you got.
Right now.
You ain't ready for a fight? Go ahead and go home. Because that's what this is going to be for 4 quarters. A fight. We always win when we fight together.
That's how winning is done.
Now get out there and do it to me.
What's up, everybody? Big Swede here once again. Thanks for joining me. Man, football is back, and just in the nick of time, too, as my disappointing Flyers got ousted. So I had nothing else to look forward to, but here was football coming right in to save the day. As you can tell, the studio is bathed in Eagle green. I'm rocking the Doc jersey. We're talking Eagles today. And with me, just another loyal Eagles fan. Some of you, most of you, probably know him, Mr. Dave Martin from the Gen X Point of View podcast. What's up, Dave? What's up with the audio? I got nothing, man. How does this keep happening? Your shit was just working. What the hell, man? I haven't touched anything. You're not muted. Oh, I heard something. Were you messing with something? What the hell, man? Can anybody out there in YouTube land hear Dave? Because I don't hear him. This is twice now. Dude, so jump out and jump back in and see if that helps. Nothing? Many apologies to anyone out there watching right now, watching us go through our technical difficulties as we try to figure out Dave's issue. So I see Dragon Buddy out there in the chat. Do you hear Dave? Just got to grab a beer and go with it. Hey, Dave, close out and then try to join again. See what happens. I don't know what the hell's going on. Fucking technology, man. What the hell? Ruining the flow. Man, had the cool intro going and everything. Fucking technology, man. We'll try to get Dave back in here in a second. But yeah, we're talking We're talking Eagles, much to the dismay of some of our loyal listeners out there. Because, you know, we got your number. We have for quite a while. And sorry to say, but it's going to continue this year too. So, you know, it is what it is. Fly, Eagles, fly. And waiting on Dave to pop back up again. See, I had this whole show planned out with a guest, a little bit of back and forth. So now that I'm here by myself, like, I don't know what to do with myself. So I'm gonna keep drinking until Dave shows up again. I've even got a green beer bottle. So what's going on? Who's out there? I don't have my Chromebook, so I don't have the chat up to see who the participants are. Ooh, Dave's back. Let's see if we can hear him now. Can we hear Dave now?
Hello.
I can hear Dave now. The hell happened?
I don't know, dude. We were talking perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you went live,
yeah,
done. So I shit canned my USB mic and now I'm plugged into like my Xbox headset. So
yeah,
hopefully it sounds good.
It's I would say not as good as what it was before, but I can hear you perfectly fine. So
yeah, what the fuck, man?
What we're doing here, it'll work fine.
God damn it.
So once again, what's going on, Dave?
I'm completely flustered now, but a few minutes ago I was ready to run through a fucking wall with that fucking Rocky intro.
I know, man.
It's every single time. Get you right here. You start getting the goose pimples, and it's like let's fucking do this.
Like I was like I was saying before you jump back in, I was like, you know, we had the cool intro and everything going. I was hyped, and then
yeah. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
I can hear you just fine.
Yeah, I can hear you now, so it's all good. It's all good.
We're nothing if not professional.
Yes, absolutely. Like this is like 2 for 2 now. When I have guests, we come out of the intro and I can't hear the guest. Last time it was my fault. I realized what I did when I turned down my background music. I was also turning down like my feed of Keith's audio, so everybody in YouTube land could hear him just fine, but I couldn't. And then I realized what I did. So, but this it wasn't my fault. This is just like, you know, the electrons getting lost in the shuffle somewhere.
What is Dragon Buddy talking about with shoving a grilled cheese in the HDMI port?
I don't know. Giants fans, man. I don't know.
I know, fucking weirdos.
So, trying to steer this thing back on topic now. Much like myself, you're a diehard Eagles fan.
Fucking ain't right.
So for those of you, those are the people out there that may not have heard you like tell the story of your Eagles fandom, you know, on the podcast many a times. Just kind of clue everybody in on like when you started watching the Eagles, like how you kind of became a fan and.
Well, I mean, fairly succinctly, I was born in Philly, and what I like to say, and the story I like to tell is, I was born 1,200 feet from home plate of Veterans Stadium. You know, I was born in the Philadelphia Navy Yard, which is at the time was basically in the parking lot of Veterans Stadium. It was right there, and from birth, I was birthed into Eagles fans, Eagles and Phillies fans, and to an extent Flyers fans, but Eagles football throughout the entirety of my youth was just Sundays in any Martin household, it was fucking EAGLES Eagles.
Yeah.
So I had an uncle that at the vet had season tickets, and we would go to games. I'd usually get to go to one game a year, definitely, and that was the Cowboys game. because it was right around my birthday.
If you're going to go to the game, that might as well be it.
Yeah, exactly. Like right around, late October is when the Cowboys were in town, and I'd always get to go to that game. I was there for the throwing snowballs after that one Cowboys game. I was there for that. And all the other games that I went to, I grew up in going into the 700 level of the vet.
Yeah.
People that hear about Eagles fans and shit like that, the reputation that we have is because of the 700 level.
700 level, yeah. That's what made it for us.
Yeah, and that's where I learned how to drink, curse, fight. You saw everything up there.
Yep.
And you know what? I nailed it. I nailed why the 700 level was so nuts. It's because you couldn't see the fucking game.
Yeah.
you couldn't see the game from there. There was you had the Fanavision, which we always sat across from, but you're watching a highlight reel of a fucking screen that's like this all the way across a giant fucking stadium.
Yeah.
So we're listening to it on the radio. You had to have a radio and you had to have binoculars. Those were must-haves if you were going to a game. So you're easily distracted while you were drinking with the fucking fighting and everything else. I don't know if you remember. I don't know how many games you went to in the vet.
Not very many. I went to a couple.
So in the 700 level, at the very, very top of the stadium, there was, before they put those penthouse suites in, there was like regular aluminum bleachers. There was like 2 rows of them that would like kind of line the top of that thing. So me and my cousin Rick, we'd go up there during the game, and we'd go up there and be fucking banging on the fucking the aluminum benches, just making noise and just being fucking crazy. And you were so fucking, it was so far away from the game. It's really, really tough to pay attention. You're just reacting to the crowd reacting.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah.
But
it was nuts up there. Like the few games that I went to, when the vet was still a thing, it was nuts up there.
It was nuts. And
yeah, like dudes, like literally, like they would like sneak in rope, and then they would like throw the rope over the side of the stadium and like haul up a fucking beer keg. Like
yeah. So because you could get access to the fucking ramps on the outside. And if you knew somebody that was out there, because a lot of times, and it's still like that today, there's a lot more people tailgating than there is actually going to the game.
In the game, yeah. So
you could have somebody that's still at the tailgate and be like, hey, we need a fucking refill, and reeling the fucking shit up. That definitely a thing. It was definitely a thing. And because of all the nonsense, that's how we earned that reputation and got ourselves a fucking in-house judge.
Yeah.
And I think it was shit season. I mean, getting through some of those seasons in the fucking late 80s, early 90s. Like, oh my fucking God. Just so much cursing and screaming at a fucking television.
Yeah.
Back in the day when the blackouts were a real thing, up until when Channel 10 started buying out like the empty seats so that it would be sold enough to be a sellout and be able to be on television.
Yeah.
That was a real thing.
And that was like kind of like, my fandom for the Eagles started a little bit differently than yours. It was later because, I grew up with my grandparents, and they had, originally lived in New York and moved, down to Pennsylvania. So my grandfather was always watching Giants games. So like I grew up, like my initial football, like, was watching, sitting with my grandfather watching Giants games. And then like when I kind of like got to the age where I could kind of make up my own mind, I'm like, why am I watching a New York team when I'm in Pennsylvania? So, I started, gravitating towards the Eagles, but like you said, like early on, like it was hard to get those games. So it wasn't until really like like Randall Cunningham years is when I started really watching, the Randall Cunningham, Reggie White, Jerome Brown, like and then like, honestly, the early 2000s was when I like really like dove into it. Like the, Doc and
right.
Those like teams that had the sustained success in the early 2000s.
Yeah. And you had to like, what's really funny is we reminisce about the Randall era and the Legion of Doom, or the Green Legion, or whatever the fuck we were calling it back then, with the Jerome Brown, Reggie White, fucking Golick was involved in that back in the day. Fucking Mike Golick. You had this defense under Buddy Ryan that was fucking amazing to watch. And the other side of that was Randall really, really trying to put together a fucking offense that a lot of times didn't happen. And that was what was so fucking frustrating, because you had somebody that was so fucking dynamic, and for whatever reason, it just didn't seem like they could put together the fucking scores. The defense was so good during those times. It was so aggravating to fucking be an Eagles fan and watch them lose fucking football games with the best defense in the league.
Couldn't score.
Oh, man, dude. So much. I swear to God, you only have but so many heartbeats, right? So as soon as I get my fucking blood pressure elevated, which is damn near every fucking Eagles game, because it's never just an easy fucking blowout.
We don't have easy games.
No. Every time it's got to get your blood pressure up. So from the age of like fucking 9 all the way to present day, every Sunday, give or take, I've been wasting heartbeats by fucking getting stressed out by watching this fucking football team. Yeah. And I will continue to do it until I'm dead.
Yep.
Because that's what it is. You have to, and that's the thing too. Eagles fans, and we're going to talk a lot about Brian Dawkins, I would imagine, right? Because we're both huge Dawkins fans.
Yeah.
And I, like, we can go through our repertoire of jerseys. I have a McNabb jersey, I have a Cunningham jersey, but I have a Mike Mamula jersey. You want to talk about your Eagles fandom? How many fucking Eagles fans have a Mike Mamula jersey?
Not I.
Yeah, I had like legit the year he was drafted, I got a Mike fucking Mamula jersey. And
so I was actually that was one of the things I was gonna bring up. I don't know if I need to ask the question, but favorite all-time Eagle.
Oh, it's Dawkins.
Yeah,
it's Dawkins, hand down. The fucking energy that man brought to a football game, you can't duplicate it. And the guy epitomizes Philadelphia when it comes to our sports teams. We want somebody that's going to go in there and give 150 fucking percent. They're going to go in there and keep hitting and keep fucking playing until the game is over, whether they win or lose. That dude went in there and gave every fucking game. He gave 150%. And that's a ride or die thing for fucking Eagles. For Eagles fans, for fucking Philly fans in general.
Yeah. And we're gonna see a little bit later. There's a video clip that we're gonna throw up that highlights Doc and his just that passion and heart that he brought every single game. Like he could be sick, he could be hurt. It didn't matter. Like that dude was giving you everything he had.
Yeah.
And I always say that, like, if I could have a team that had like half the heart that Brian Dawkins had, like, dude, you'd be unstoppable, man.
Yeah. And I don't know. So I've kind of lost track of it, but Harold Carmichael was one of my favorites growing up. In my youth, I had a Howard Carmichael. My first Eagles jersey was a Howard Carmichael jersey. Nice. And which I wish I still had. That would have been fucking amazing. But I got pictures of like fucking, I don't know, 6-7-year-old Dave or however old I was, getting a fucking jersey for my birthday. But yeah, like the Howard Carmichaels, the kind of those all-time greats. But yeah, B Doc is the fucking man. He's the absolute man. Oh, I brought up Howard Carmichael because he got elected for the Hall of Fame class. Yeah. I don't know what's happening with the Hall of Fame this year.
I don't know either. Like I know they, obviously they canceled the Hall of Fame game.
Yeah.
But what are they going to do? Just make these guys wait another year? Like,
maybe they're hoping to do it at some point during the season and just have it muted, because honestly, I missed out on getting to the Brian Dawkins Hall of Fame fucking.
Yeah, I wish I could have.
I would have loved to have gone, but I couldn't. I would like to get there for the Howard Carmichael one.
Yeah. But,
I mean, the way things are right now, it probably isn't going to be a reality. It's probably going to be a very closed house thing.
Yep.
And honestly, for like, we're guys in our mid 40s, right? So, or you're younger than I am, but how many present day Eagles fans like that are younger than us know who Howard Carmichael is?
No, yeah. I mean, you might have gotten a few like from like the the Super Bowl parade where who was it that was wearing a Carmichael jersey?
Selleck. Wasn't it Selleck?
It was one of them guys, but you might have gotten some people like, oh, what? Who's that? Carmichael.
Yeah, who's number 17?
Start Googling it,
Yeah. But yeah, it's fucking like I said, ride or die for any Philly fandom is going to be. You can't fucking half-ass your way fucking through a football game or any game. That's why guys like the Scott Rowlands and and those high caliber players. Scott Rowland was playing for the Phillies, but he didn't seem to fucking put his ass into it. He was a highly talented player, but he butted up against fucking Larry Boa. Larry fucking Boa, who is an absolute god, for Phillies fans.
Yeah.
And you're not going to do that. Like, we have our guys. Yeah. Fucking Brian Dawkins can go to the Broncos and play for the Broncos and still, like, we don't care. He's a fucking
like
same thing with Reggie White.
After he left and went to the Broncos, that game he came back to the link. Like,
oh, dude,
we treated him like he had never left. Like, that's our dude,
Yeah.
I don't care what jersey he's wearing right now. That's our dude.
Yeah. That 2-0, man. It's fucking
And that's why, like, 9 times out of 10, this is the jersey I throw on.
Yeah. I've got a number 75 jersey for that the kids got me for Christmas one year. And it's 75 and it has Martin on the back. So I'll wear that too.
Yeah.
Just because it was a gift. But like, if I really need to be pumped up, like if I'm going to wear the black jersey, then that's, it's got to be this one.
Nice. So speaking of being pumped up, the Eagles yesterday released their like, start of the season hype video,
which I have not seen yet.
Yeah. I started to watch it last night and then I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to do an Eagles episode. So I'm going to wait. So I saw the beginning of it. They got Deuce narrating this thing.
Okay. Because I scrolling through social media, you could see like, you can't help but see it. Like, especially because I'm an Eagles fan. So there's all this Eagles shit in my social media. So I really was deliberately not scrolling to it, knowing that I was going to see it now. So
yeah,
can't wait. It's going to be fucking good.
I don't know everything we got to expect in this video, but like the bit that I saw of it, I'm like, hell yeah, I guess I like Deuce. I've always liked Deuce.
Oh yeah.
As a player, as a coach, like I just like the dude's energy. So we'll see what Deuce got to say here on the Eagles hype video.
Act like you've been there.
What?
There before. Not really possible now, is it? But we still got to get up.
Very well aware of the circumstances we're all living in.
We still got to move forward. We still got to be we. Create new rituals. Cook up new potions. Then toast the new normal. New faces.
Young guys, step up.
New places. New Jalen's. Old Jalen's.
Wait, how many Jalen's they got over there anyway?
Never know. Look, all that matters is we got each other. We got the youngsters looking up at us. We got the legends looking down on us. We got Dallas in our back pocket, Carson's in our front pocket, Carson's in the side pocket, Carson's completely out of pocket. Woo!
Touchdown!
Dang, I forgot about that one. You gotta let the big dogs bark.
You a dog tonight, boy!
Let's go!
We gotta let the young bucks drip.
What does it even mean?
It means we're getting the band back together. It means living the fly life from day one.
Yes.
It means, okay, fine, no fans in the seats. Well, hell, you didn't sit down anyway. We're still going to fight for what we believe in.
This has been going on for far too long.
And scream so loud, you will feel it wherever you are. So yeah, come to think about it, we have been here before. Staring down the new dawn in a new day, ready to show the world how we do. And when we look back on all this, you know what? Never mind. There's no looking back.
Nice.
Nice.
That was nice.
That was good. Yeah, dude, I love Deuce, man.
It's good. Oh god, I wish they were fucking playing like right now.
Yeah, man.
It's like I don't want to wait for fucking 2 days. I want fucking football right now. I want wings. I want fucking beer. I want to sit down and fucking scream at the television and fucking get hype. Now, I will say that's not the hypest video that they've put out.
No,
I think it's a little bit muted, especially because of like COVID stuff and some, like kind of social justice stuff, but it wasn't excessive.
Yeah, and that was one of the things I was going to bring up is like I know I have one, but do you remember a particular hype video that you like still to this day, like you can watch it and just get goosebumps and just be ready to run through a wall?
So I was there was one of them with a lot of them involve Dawkins. Almost all of them do. Like either he's narrating it or he's a big fucking part of it. Mm-hmm. I remember the hype video going into the NFC Championship game was fucking big, and I think that was primarily Dawkins narrating it. I think there's so many of them, and you know what's tough? I was looking for in researching for this, right? I was looking for videos that I may have recognized as the hype videos. Some of that stuff has been fan made. I mean, we live in this era now where fan made shit can be so fucking, the production quality is so good that you don't fucking know. You don't know it's not produced by the Eagles. Yep.
No, the one that I have in mind, it was actually put out by the Eagles, and it was Chip Kelly's first year. So we'd come off of that, like whatever it was, 4-12 season. We were trash. And then Chip Kelly came in and nobody really expected much. We ended up going 10-6, win the division. And they put out this hype video for the playoffs. And like to this day, I just love it. So hey Jamie, you want to pull that video up?
Awesome. Put Jamie to fucking work.
Yeah. So this was the Eagles crashing the party video.
Knock, knock. Guess who's here? You know, in this town, when someone's having people over, everybody's invited. Even when the house is packed, we just slide another chair up to the table like one big family. But this big end of the year party, I guess they weren't expecting us. It's almost as if our invitation somehow got lost in the mail. But that doesn't mean we're not going to show up. Decked out in our Sunday best, help ourselves to the cheese plate, and go home wearing someone else's coat. Because a party ain't a party till somebody crashes it. And we're bringing everybody.
That fucking snow game, man.
That was man.
Probably one of the greatest games. It's got I don't know where it ranks on the top fucking 20 or 15 all-time football games, but holy shit, that was fucking amazing.
Dude, that was like that shit when you were a kid and it was snowing and let's go out and play fucking football in the snow. I dream of a game like that every year. I'm like, come on, give me some snow.
I remember because I was actually home for that game, and it was unexpected. That snowstorm was completely out of fucking nowhere.
Supposed to be like they were saying like a dusting to maybe an inch or something, and then ended up getting like 8-9 inches of snow. It was crazy.
It was insane, and it all came down like so heavy at one time. It looked like you were watching a game in fucking Denver, where they're pushing the snow shovels across the fucking yardage markers so they can see where the fuck things are. And McCoy had the game of his fucking life. That game,
like 200 yards rushing or some shit.
Yeah, it was like 225, I think it was, something like that. Holy shit, that was a good fucking game. Yeah, Chip. So the Chip Kelly era is very interesting for us, at least for me as an Eagles fan, right? I had that was the first year. I don't know if it was the first year, but so back in the day, like one of the things I used to do as a kid when the Eagles were in Lehigh, we'd go out there to Lehigh and fucking go and then I think they went from Lehigh to Westchester or vice versa. I forget. I was young, and I didn't drive. So, but yeah, you go and you'd be able to fucking really interact with them and their fucking the summer squads, and then it shifted. And I think it was a tail end of Andy Reid had brought them more a little bit, not quite as open as it was. And then Chip Kelly, he had these large scale practices at the link that were open to the public, which I thought was really fucking interesting. However, really cool experience as a fan to be able to go and kind of see like what's happening during the those type of practices. But you could tell right away. That fucking pace, like he wanted to have this fucking boom, 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 trying to run this college offense with a bunch of adult football players that he was running them into the fucking ground, and there was no way they could maintain that pace.
Yeah,
and quite frankly, if it wasn't for fucking Mike Vick, I don't think it would have been as good as it was.
Yeah, and not just that, but just the way he interacted and talked to his players, like he just didn't know how to. And you heard it with the media too. That dude just did not know how to talk to people.
Mm-mm.
Like and just that whole thing. He's like, I don't care if you're a rookie or you've been in the league for 10 years. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm going to treat you exactly the same way, which sounds great, but in reality, it's just not the way life works. Like,
no,
when you've been in the league that long, you've earned some privileges.
Exactly, and you can do that with college kids because all those kids are on the same level. Yeah. Like, there's no salaries that you're talking about. Like, you're on the team, so that's how you're going to be treated. Everyone's the same. You're interchangeable with anybody else. So play like you fucking mean it. But that never translates to the NFL. I mean, aside from that shitbag up in fucking Seattle, like, how many like legit college coaches that had success in college actually transferred it over into fucking the NFL? It's just such a mentality. It's shift, and you have to be adaptable. And Chip Kelly was not it. And that motherfucker never endeared himself to the city.
No.
He never fucking. You go and you fucking Doug Peterson has always been everywhere in this city, and I mean, granted, he was a backup in Philly, so he knew how it was. But yeah, Doug Peterson, that motherfucker. I was standing. It's too early for Super Bowl stories, but I was standing in the crowd that was close to the link at the beginning of the fucking Super Bowl parade. And when Peterson fucking came down and basically brought the fucking Super Bowl trophy down, so it was like within feet of me. I was like, this motherfucker gets it. Like, oh, here the fans. This is what the shit they've wanted to see for their entire lives.
Yeah.
And
literally, it like a lot of us, you, me, it had been our entire lives.
Yeah.
Like we were waiting for that moment, and they got that. Team got that.
In 1980, right? I was fucking 5 years old. Yeah, when they go and lose that Super Bowl to the fucking to the Raiders, to our friend Brady Lovin's fucking shithole Raiders team, which is, as a Philly fan, like that's the taste of my mouth from 1980, and it's not even the taste that like I would really recognize because I was still fucking eating baby food practically at that point. Yeah. But from my entire life, when you talked about the Raiders in our household and in our fucking town, hate, just complete and utter fucking hate speech coming out about the fucking Raiders. And that was one of those games too. You got Ron Jaworski, who, like, in this area, Ron Jaworski's big. He owns a bunch of golf courses. Like, he's really involved in the fucking community and shit like that. Like, if he had won that Super Bowl, if he had managed to fucking play and actually win that Super Bowl, could you imagine how different the fucking Eagles landscape would be if they had that one Super Bowl in 1980?
Yeah.
And I look at what Jaws could be. Like, Jaws is super, super successful. He owns a lot of property, does his bit in real estate, everything else. It was on Monday Night Football, all the other stuff. But he wins that fucking Super Bowl. You go from being somebody who played the Super Bowl to a fucking champion. Completely different story.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Were we going? Were we on some sort of vector there?
I mean, we're just kind of. It started out with the Chip Kelly and.
Fuck.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Those Chip Kelly years were. Yeah, like when he first came in, it was like, oh, this is something new. And then that first year, we were like, I wouldn't say we were super successful, but we were way more successful than everybody expected. So it was well, maybe he's on to something here. And then he just proceeded to just fucking decimate this team. And in all reality, though, I can't say too much bad about him because without Chip Kelly, I don't think we win that Super Bowl.
No, I agree. That's that come from the ashes, like the grit that got on those players for having to deal with all the Chip Kelly shit and just kind of like rising out of that.
Yeah.
That there's something to be said for that. Like you embody yourself with whatever situation you're in, and that adversity, and coming out of an Andy Reid era that had the most success of any Eagles out of the franchise ever.
Yeah,
all those the NFC championships, the NFC East every fucking year. McNabb, all the shit with McNabb. You had the Brian Westbrooks. It's just those teams were so successful. When that started to tail off, and the Super Bowl started, instead of getting closer, getting further away after the loss to this fuckface Patriots.
Patriots, man. At least we got.
Yeah, exactly. It couldn't have happened better. But yeah, it's funny because Andy Reid here was such a likable figure. I mean, you look at how Kansas City deals with Andy Reid right now, right? He won in the Super Bowl. It's fucking. He's the best guy ever.
Mm-hmm.
And we had him. We had him for that. We had him for probably some of his best years. And I mean, I remember when his son died. I remember how the fucking city grieved for him.
Yep.
And unfortunately, that was kind of the turning point for when Andy Reid started to lose the football team.
Yeah.
And he started to lose focus on how to get the team to where it needed to be to win. And look, in true Philly fashion, all right, Andy, we love you, but it's time to fucking go. We were done with it.
Hit the bricks.
Yeah. And I know a lot of the pundits out there would like to say, you guys we're talking shit on him, and then all of a sudden you're on his dick when he wins the fucking Super Bowl. We're talking shit because it was a losing fucking football team.
Yeah.
And he got to change his environment. He gets a fucking stud quarterback in Patrick Mahomes. I mean, the kid's fucking phenomenal. He's got good talent on that team. He's got a fucking tight end Andy Reid knows how to use fucking tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking speedy, Tyreek Hill, one of the fastest fucking players in the NFL, is on that fucking team. That's perfect setup for fucking a guy like Andy Reid.
Yeah.
So gets to change his environment, goes in a fucking football town, and does his fucking job.
And the thing is, we never really shit on Andy Reid. We loved Andy Reid. Even at the end, we loved Andy Reid. Like you said, it was like, dude, we love you. We love everything you've done for this team, but it's time for a change.
But you got to go.
Yeah.
It's like you're overserved. It's fucking time to go.
It's time. And I bringing up Dragon Buddy and Luna Girl, the Tom Coughlin crap. It was just it was time for that dude to go. That team not going anywhere. Not to say he was a bad coach, but
I can say he was
nothing was happening. Yeah, well, but nothing was happening with that team, and it wasn't going to get better. It's sometimes you just need a change of scenery. You need to mix it up.
And look, the Giants fans are fucking in the chat so active right now. Really, the Giants had their success. They fucking had their miracles with fucking Eli Manning.
Miracles? Did you say miracles?
I did say miracles.
We'll get to that later.
They had they used the shit out of Eli, got fucking lucky several times. Yeah. So, and look, luck's part of the game. Blah 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 blah. Whatever. He still fucking won the Super Bowls and got his fucking ring. Yada yada yada. Whatever. But it's the same thing. That's a Hall of Fame coach playing with a fucking quarterback who I can't believe is going to go to the Hall of Fame. But he will.
He will. He will.
He's got numbers, and I can't imagine how dumb looking that fucking statue is going to be. Can you imagine the fucking look? What look are they going to get with Eli with that fucking statue that's going to look like poised or some shit?
Those statues always look a little off anyway.
Right.
So like, you take Eli's mug and then you put it on that statue.
It'll probably look like Peyton. That's what it's going to look like. They'll just take Peyton's mold and just fucking make it look like Eli. And just fucking change scratch something else in the fucking bottom. Oh, look, I'm looking in the trophy. Dragon Bite is like, we also have a fuller trophy case. Okay. That's fine. Whatever. It doesn't hurt me nearly as bad now because that's the Giants and the Cowboys always go back to this, like, I love the Cowboys fucking fans that are, still riding all their fucking success when Troy Aikman was fucking throwing the football or Roger Staubach. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? Like, the best memes are the ones where they fucking the Cowboys having to watch their fucking Super Bowls on VHS tapes. It's like, give me a fucking break. I hate the Cowboys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that's one of those things where hate is a strong word, and I've getting older. I'm getting softer around the middle, and my personality's gotten a little softer. I'm absorbing things a little bit easier. Lets things slide off my fucking shoulders a little bit. Not the fucking Cowboys. Not ever in my fucking life. And I mean, so much so to the point, like, I'm a huge Penn State fan. You're a Penn State guy. Sean Lee was one of the best linebackers come out of Penn State, and he goes to the Cowboys. I'm like, sorry, dude.
Yeah,
I can't.
You're dead to me.
You're fucking dead to me. Yeah. Kelly says we're both number one, and she used the sign language.
Yep.
Like, you should be having your hands at 10 and 2 on the wheel. Don't
be safe.
It's somebody driving next to them in like fucking the middle of Ohio is probably going, what the fuck what's happening in that car?
Did she just flip us off?
What the fuck? That's one thing that Eagles fans, oh my God, the hatred for the fucking Cowboys.
Oh yeah. And it's like literally like every year, those 2 weeks leading up to Cowboys, it's hashtag hate week. Like,
oh yeah.
Fuck you.
Dude, I got a story. So, buddy of mine in the unit I used to fly with had season tickets to the Eagles, and one of the instructors we had for the weapon system we were flying, he wanted to go see a game. Like, he's a Cowboys fan, right? And he's not from the area or anything else. Like, he was a Cowboys fan, and the Cowboys fans that live in have grew up in Pennsylvania. Like, I have something to say about that here in a minute. But so we're parked. We parked at the Navy Yard, right? Because that's what you do.
Yeah.
Like, we had our military IDs. We fucking go park at the Navy Yard for free and then walk through the tailgates and do all that shit, right? So, hey, if you're an Eagles fan that's watching this right now, like, you can do this. Like, you can drive into the Navy Yard and park for free and then walk to your tailgate. You can thank Dave from the Gen X Point of View podcast for that hot tip. Yep. So we're walking through the parking lot, and this is a 1:00 game, right? It's a 1:00 game. Weather's fucking dog shit, but everybody's out in the parking lots. We're walking through the Wachovia Center, or whatever the fuck it's called now, the Wells Fargo, and
changes every couple of years.
Yeah, and he like, this dude was a Crown drinker, right? And he's he had been drinking Crown the whole way over. So we're going through the tailgate and heading toward the stadium, and the jabs are starting to come. Like, he's got a Cowboys beanie on, and people are starting to talk shit, and he's drunk, and he's like, all right, I'm going to go. Like, whoever threw this, somebody threw a fucking hot dog at him or something. And me and the other dude, we're like walking in front of him, like, dude, you are on your fucking own. We warned you, and you want to fucking go step into this fight? We ain't helping your ass. So he's fucking walking through. Fucking hot dog comes flying around. Now he's going to jump bad, right? He's like, oh, who the fuck did that? Come on, right? So this dude comes walking out, leaves his fucking tailgate, comes up to the dude, is like, listen, we get it, okay? You wanted to come through here. You wanted to show your colors. It's all good. I highly recommend that you just get to your seats.
Yeah.
Get into the stadium and get to your seat, because you won't make it through this fucking parking lot if you keep acting up. And that right there, it was that not the vet, this is the link type thing, right? Because at the vet, that dude, there was no conversation.
Yeah.
He would have got hit with a fucking tire
in the fucking ground already.
Yeah, it was like there's no chance for that conversation to happen. But on a 1 o'clock game, because they only started drinking at 10 when the parking lot opened, then you have somebody come up and be like, "Hey, dude, you should need to go with your friends and go into the fucking game and go enjoy yourself.
Enjoy the game."
Yeah. And that was the last week. Honestly, he stowed the beanie at that point, because he kind of like that. It was enough of a wake up call to be like, okay, this is more serious than I thought it was. Because a lot of those guys, like if they're coming from out of town, we have a reputation, right? We have a reputation that's built on the 700 level. We talked about it before.
And in our defense, like it's not as bad as people make it out to be, but we will uphold that reputation if provoked.
Oh, dude, a fucking night game. A fucking night game, an 8 o'clock game. You're talking about 12 hours of nonstop drinking before you get in the goddamn stadium. Before, like, the tailgate doesn't change. If you're on a Sunday night game, you're still tailgating at the same time. You're going out, you have your breakfast. Fucking people like going and getting their breakfast together and they're day drinking and fucking going, playing cornhole, fucking washers, bullshit. Lunchtime, all right, boom, set everything up. You're spending the entire day outside, drinking your fucking face off, sleeping, waking up, going into the fucking stadium. And by the time that shit happens, if you're a Giants or Cowboys fan and you suddenly want to talk shit, you're going to get your fucking ass beat.
Yeah.
That's going to happen. Why would you willingly go into that situation? And I've watched people just get their shit kicked in and fairly tolerant, even in the link type, like, hey, come on, dude. You really need to, like, some fucking broad. Like one of the last games I was at, it was a Giants Eagles game, and some fucking broads like talking shit, right? And the boyfriend is like, oh god, like, can you not? And she's talking shit. So some other broad comes up and like gets in her face, and cold cocks this fucking broad, right? Boom! Like, and so the other one starts screaming. Security comes up, and everyone's like, it's her fault. Like, she's been talking shit for the past fucking half hour. Get her the fuck out of here. And they did. They fucking took her and the boyfriend out.
Awesome.
And the whole entire section applauded.
Yep.
But look.
That's the way it works.
It's football. It's that environment. It's not just in fucking Philly. We just happen to have that the worst of that reputation.
But we kind of embrace it too.
No, yeah. Look, I was at the game where we threw batteries at JD Drew. Okay, I mean, unfortunately, I have partaken in some of the worst of this.
So
my upbringing.
We could probably sit here and like tell stories like until the cows come home, but we'll try and keep moving on so we can actually get to the fun stuff.
I would. Can we talk about the miracles? What you got? What you got next?
Let's actually talk like this season, like expectations. What do you think? Like there's things going on in the team, like the whole Zach Ertz situation right now is a little troubling. I don't think that's going to affect this year. I really think that the Eagles need to figure that shit out though. But I mean, on a whole, like, you look at this season and, COVID notwithstanding, like where do you think this team's at? Like, what are you looking at from this season?
Well, I'm looking at a healthy Carson Wentz, right? Relatively. I mean, he had a soft tissue injury and fucking in practice. People started making a big deal about that. That's one thing I'm so sick of fucking hearing is
soft tissue. That could be like a Charlie horse.
It could have been anything, and why risk it? And maybe he could have been dehydrated. Who the fuck knows? I'm not even concerned about that. People seem to forget that the fucking last year he played through the entire season, gets hurt in a fucking playoff game on an illegal fucking hit.
Yeah,
and then people are like, oh well, look, fuck you.
Yeah. He didn't get
anyway.
He got a concussion.
Yeah, got driven into the fucking ground with an illegal hit, and anyway. But I think with Carson healthy, he's got. I don't know what the day-to-day situation of Miles Sanders is. I know that there's some question about what's going on with that. But he's a highly talented running back. I think when you have the Riegers and you got some wide receiver talent that's out there, I've put Alshon Jeffrey to bed, unfortunately. Like
that guy.
Although,
speaking of Rieger, he was not on the injury list today.
Yeah, I saw something pop up in my fantasy thing.
So participant in practice. They were talking about he might miss like 4 weeks, and then now he's probably going to play. So like that's good news.
I think this team has everything it needs to win the division and get to the playoffs. Now, what troubles me is getting there. We've got the Jason Peters situation, which they restructured his contract. Lane Johnson restructured his contract to make sure Jason Peters got money, or I think that's who it was.
Yeah, Lane restructured his deal to free up cap space.
Right. And I think with the Zach Ertz situation, I think that has a lot to do with it. I think they're looking at the cap and seeing, I think Zach Ertz is probably the number 2 fucking tight end in this league.
Yeah, and I don't think Zach is the type of guy that's going to be like, "Fuck you guys, I'm not going to play hard."
No, he's definitely going to play hard, and I think he's actually been on social media and kind of posted like, "Yeah, it's troubling that we can't get to a deal, but
he wants to.
I'm going to play this. I'm going to play this like it's my last season here, and if it works out, it works out."
Yeah.
Which it is. It's troubling for us as fans because we want to see Zach Ertz as a fucking retires in the year. To have the level of comfort he has with Carson, that they can, no matter what happens, he's got Zach Ertz somewhere. I mean, that's huge. You can't buy that. You can't go and find that from somebody else.
Yeah, and like Dallas Goedert's great, but he's not Zach Ertz.
No, he's not. He's not that level of talent. He is a very serviceable fucking tight end in this league. Excuse me. But I think having Deshaun Jackson back, granted, he's an older guy, but
and stay healthy. God, that like just having him on the field.
Yeah.
Even if he's not catching the damn ball, just having him on the field opens things up for other people.
Yeah, you have to appreciate the fact that when Deshaun Jackson's on the field, on the outside or in the slot, you have to adjust. You can't let that dude go by.
Yeah.
And if you do let him go by, it's going to burn you.
Yeah.
It is going to burn you.
50-yard touchdown.
Yep. And while you're chasing down Deshaun Jackson, that leaves guys like Zach Ertz open. Having those things up the middle. I think you're going to see Carson get out of the pocket more this season. And last season, there was a lot of trying to keep Carson in the pocket to keep him healthy.
And then at the end of the year, they let him loose a little bit, and look at what happened.
Yeah, when he was fully confident of that knee, then you saw it. You saw it kind of like getting towards the end of the season where he was really confident. It was not a thought. Like he started the season last year with probably in his head somewhere that this fucking knee is not 100% and trying to protect it. I mean, I think that's human nature from an athlete's perspective. So a healthy Carson with weapons, I think the defense is serviceable.
The secondary has definitely been upgraded.
For sure. I mean, the past 2 years, our secondary has been so fucking bad.
Like looking at what I've heard from practice and everything, like Jalen Mills is a much better safety than an outside corner. Like,
yeah, getting Mills having fucking Slay in the locker room right now, and he's a premier talent. So you have to respect it. You're not gonna be able to go to play the Eagles this season and with the expectation that you're like, okay, we're going to score points. Now we just got to keep them from scoring points. I think the Eagles can stop teams from scoring.
Yeah.
Why I don't pick the fucking Eagles to go all the way is I hate doing that. I hate because then I feel like it's my fault.
And everybody calls you a homer.
Oh yeah, and I am, dude, 100%. You can, yes, I am that guy. But from a football perspective, the reality is I want to see them. I need to see them play. We haven't had a preseason. We can't see how the team is actually functioning right now. We don't. I know there's going to be wrinkles in the offense. I know you're going to have to fucking put Hurts in there, and you're going to get him with some fucking wildcat type scenarios. I know it. It's Doug Peterson has been waiting to have this opportunity. He doesn't have a fucking 43-year-old backup right now.
Yeah. Well, we do. He's just sitting at home in Texas getting $12,000 a week.
Yeah, motherfucker. It's like, yes, please. I'll do that. I can throw a football.
Yeah, shit. I'll be your emergency quarterback and just sit at home and watch the games.
But listen, saying that fucking game, because I was at this first playoff game I ever went to as an Eagles fan was last year. And I was in the fucking box. Go to @PhillyDave75 on Instagram and you scroll through my shit. You can see my pictures with fucking it was fucking amazing. It was just an amazing experience. I was in the goddamn box, and to see Carson go down, like it was when it happened, it was so like fucking like what happened? Where's what fucking Wentz? Like, you know, he wasn't in the tent. Like we didn't see him walk off because shit was going on. And then, you know, watching it on the TV in the box, you're like, oh fuck. And then old boy comes out. Why am I blanking on his name right now?
Josh McCown.
McCown, thank you. Jesus Christ, fucking old. McCown comes out there and he fucking plays like it was his last thing to do on earth.
Played his ass off, literally. Played his ass off.
Yeah,
Tore his butt muscles.
He went out there and did a very Philly thing. He went out there and fucking played like, this is my job is to fucking get this team to the next game.
Yep.
And he's going to do everything he fucking possibly could do.
Everything on that fucking field. Yep. Like, and dude, like, that's the thing is this city like respects the hell out of that. Yep. Like to no end, like that dude, like you put that much into it and you never buy a drink in this town again. Like,
no, never.
Like,
it's just like,
that's how you earn this town.
Yeah. Yeah, that and like, hey, it's good if like you recognize Josh McCown. Like, what are you doing in fucking PJ Williams right now? Like, what? Shouldn't you be like somewhere more expensive? And the same thing with Nick Foles. You know, Nick Foles,
dude's a legend forever.
Yeah,
forever.
Big Dick Nick will always be there. Like the fucking statue, the Philly special, the whole fucking thing. There isn't an Eagles fan alive right now that wouldn't sacrifice themselves to ensure Big Dick Nick can fucking walk through the city.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, because that's how we are. You earn that shit. You stepped in, you fucking did your job. You do your fucking bit.
Do your bit.
How much of being a fucking Eagles fan and this like the Brian Dawkins, the fucking Nick Foles, these are people that came in and they had their job. This is what they're supposed to do. Brian Dawkins is supposed to go out there. You're supposed to hit motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember Andre Waters?
Yeah.
So Andre Waters used to hit to hurt people, like legit hurt people. I mean, motherfuckers got staph infections on the turf at the vet. You know, that one fucking Browns running back, I can't think of right now. He got a staph infection so bad it took him out of the fucking league because of the turf on the vet. But Andre Waters would go out there and try and plant people through the fucking AstroTurf. And that shit, everybody went fucking absolutely bananas. Even though football was a little bit harder back in those days. But like that's the type of shit. Fucking he went out there, he had a singular purpose, and that was to fucking hurt people. Win football games.
Yeah.
You do that shit, then we're gonna fucking put you on a pedestal.
Yep.
And when you fail,
we're gonna hold you accountable for it. That's what we do, you know.
Claude Drew.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fucking Couturier won the fucking damn Selke trophy, but my first thought when they announced that shit is like, where the fuck was he in the playoffs?
Exactly.
Like, then that's just the way we are, you know. Like
nobody gives a fuck about the regular season.
We love what you do until you stop doing it. And then it's like, we don't give a shit what you've done. Honestly, we don't. We care about what you're doing now. Yeah. Like, and you know, unless it's like the case of Nick Foles. Yes, we care about what Nick did because he's not here anymore.
Right.
But like, if you're still here and you're still a part of this team, you better keep contributing because we're going to call you on that shit.
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to put you on the spot here now. And okay. I need a prediction for the Eagles record this year. Where will the Eagles finish?
11-5.
11-5. Okay. I'm sitting at, I mean, a lot of it is dependent on injuries because there's a lot of question marks right now. Right now, I've got them sitting. I was like, they should do no worse than 10-6. They can do more than that if people stay healthy and guys come along, hopefully the way we expect them to. Some of these younger guys, I think we can do better than 10-6, but we should do no worse than 10-6. And if we do, then something bad's happening.
I'm looking at the chat real quick, and I see something with the. Oh, okay. We are the only teams to take down Brady.
Yes,
which is
as in the Giants and the Eagles.
Right. So
yeah,
City of Brotherly Love has no love for shit talkers.
Yep. Yep. All right, so
11-5.
That out of the way, let's get into a little bit of our favorite moments and memories in Eagles history. Obviously, the Super Bowl, that's high on everybody's list. Yeah. The Philly special, but what other moments in your mind were like huge iconic moments in Eagles history? And you mentioned one earlier.
I did. Well, you can't go wrong with the greatest comeback in football history, with the Miracle in the Meadowlands 2.
Well, actually, if you want to get technical, there was 3 miracles at the Meadowlands, and just so happens that Jamie has pulled up the videos of all 3, and
yes,
we're gonna watch them now and bask in the glory that is Eagles late game comebacks at the Meadowlands.
Absolutely.
So we'll start with the oldest one here, the original Miracle at the Meadowlands.
Herm Edwards.
And let's see. Boom.
The clock winding down below that. As the clock winds out on the Philadelphia Eagles, a game they thought would project them into a possible wild card position. It would bring them 7-5 had they won, but a late interception by the Giants will preserve a Giant victory. An upset win as the Giants lead 17-12, and we're inside 30 seconds. The Eagles have no timeouts. Wait a minute. Here's a free foot. I don't believe it. The Eagles pick it up, and Herman Edwards.
Herman Edwards.
An incredible development.
You play to win the game.
He's in when the New England Patriots were running the game out against the Washington Redskins.
Yes.
Look at some of these guys. Look at those uniforms. Man. If we're having
doesn't get the snap, he just the snap, doesn't get it, and who's right there? Herman Edwards picks it up on the dead run and goes for a touchdown.
Fucking Herman Edwards, man. Those uniforms, those uniforms just bring you back. The fucking Keller Green helmets. I'm one of those guys who would love to see the Keller Green come back. I mean, this shit's iconic. We've won a lot of football games wearing our midnight green, but I think the Keller Green would be a great alternate uniform.
Yep. Yeah, and then Jeffrey Lurie loves it. He said many times he'd love to bring it back, but that stupid one shell rule that the NFL has for the some of these other teams that do their alternate colors, like they keep the obviously they're using the same helmet, they're just changing the color of the decals on it and changing the face mask. But they're keeping the shell the same, and that's how they do it.
I think in this day and age, like you put a vinyl fucking skin on that thing, and you could put whatever the fuck you want on it.
Just put like a vinyl wrap,
yeah, exactly. Fucking heat shrink that on there. You'd still be able to see imperfections or cracks or anything else. I mean, I get it. They're fucking. It's safety equipment, and you don't want to hide a potential imperfection, but you can definitely do it.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to this is the one that most people forget about. This is the true Miracle at the Meadowlands 2. And this was Brian Westbrook returning a punt with like a minute. I think it was like a minute and a half to go in the game.
I do remember this.
So we'll bring this one up here.
I love the old school. I mean,
to struggle. I'm just not so sure after this week.
Well,
fucking Collinsworth again.
On the clock, even though he
had
that
guy.
Now it's a minute and a half. That's a lot of time. Jeff Eagles.
Why does this look familiar? A Giants punter kicking it to the returner.
The 21.
At least that one bounced.
On the return, here comes Westbrook. He's got the lead. Here comes Westbrook. He gets
And you hear that crowd? This is at the Meadowlands.
Uh-huh.
touchdown, Eagles. No flags now. And the Eagles wild. Reminiscent of the Dallas Cowboys game in week number 2.
Why in the world do you punt that football where it can be returned?
Exactly.
Not your
Exactly.
yard line.
You do
Why in the world are you not kicking that ball out of bounds? And you talk about reminiscent. How about in the Cowboys game where they do kick that kickoff out of bounds? It cost them that game.
85 yards, Troy.
We talked about it earlier. Jeff Beagle.
I love Brian Westbrook, man. Yeah, coming from Villanova, which is like, you had named football players that have come out of Villanova. Brian Westbrook and Howie Long. Howie Long came out of Villanova. So you have a Hall of Famer and somebody who has good numbers. Westbrook's not going to make the Hall of Fame, but he definitely he was a fucking solid NFL running back coming out of basically a Division 1A school.
Well, I mean, he was kind of like Westbrook was kind of like the genesis of this modern like pass catching running back that we see all the time now. Like he didn't like take the ball in the backfield all that often. He did from occasionally, but like more times than not, he was like catching a ball in the flats and running.
Yeah.
Like that was Andy Reid's running game, is like toss it to Westbrook in the flat and then take off.
Yeah, which worked fucking famously. I mean, it got us to the Super Bowl. Yeah, McNabb without Westbrook, it's not the same team. It just isn't.
And then,
all right, well, yeah, we gotta get to the best miracle of the Meadowlands.
And I won't make the Giants fans in the chat sit through the entire amazing 21-point comeback that happened prior to this.
Watching Mike Vick run all over their fucking defense,
just annihilating and just thrashing that Giants defense.
Yeah.
But we'll just bring it in right here with good old Matt Dodge.
Touchdown this year. Waits. And it's a line drive kick. Jackson bobbles it and now has to try and recover. Deshaun Jackson gets a block. Are you kidding? Deshaun Jackson still not in, and now in for the touchdown. No flags. Unbelievable. No time left. Eagles win.
He's yelling at him.
What are you doing?
Out of my face. I want to hear it.
You're supposed to kick out of bounds. You can read his fucking lips.
See Tom Coughlin. It looks like he went right to Matt Dodge and was asking him what he was doing.
So Matt Dodge, obviously, like the play call was not to fucking kick it to the guy who's going to run it down your fucking throat.
Absolutely.
But let's face it, you still have to fucking you play to win the game, right, Herm Edwards? You play to win the game. You fucking still have to tackle the motherfucker, right? The best part of that, the insult to injury, is fucking Dodge trying to get at Deshaun Jackson, and Deshaun's like, get the fuck out of here.
Dude, but like Deshaun's run back on that was great, but dude, that block by Jason Avant.
Yeah.
Oh my God, just flatten that dude. And without that block, he's not taking it in.
That's a block. Yeah, even fucking Aikman was like, fuck.
Block. Yep.
I was fucking watching that series, like watching that sequence of the fucking Eagles coming back in that game was when we were watching it live, right? And when you're watching that football game, you're like, you're fucking pissed, right?
Oh yeah.
Fuck this game.
Yeah, I got a story about that.
And then to fucking to fucking go out there and fucking finish. Like, all right, we're going to make the onside kick. David fucking Akers, best kicker the Eagles have ever had, probably ever will have. Akers they kick a perfect onside kick. Again, the Giants special teams heads completely up their own fucking asses to let the fucking onsides go. And they fucking worked their way back. Even when Deshaun had that fucking other fumble, I thought it was over. I thought that they made a decent run, but it's over.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was
that game. I was out in Arizona. I was stationed out at Luke at the time, and we were at we decided me and the wife decided we were going to go out to B-dubs and watch this game because it was like, yeah, let's not watch it at home. Let's go out somewhere and watch it. And we go out. I had one other buddy with me that was also an Eagles fan, and for whatever fucking reason, we're just surrounded by Giants fans at fucking B-dubs. And these dudes are just talking shit the whole fucking game. Just chirping, fucking blah, 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 blah. And it was fucking amazing to see the energy change in that room as like we started making that comeback and scoring and like we're getting excited and they start quieting down. And man, when he ran that kickback, we fucking blew up. We're in there fucking screaming the fucking Eagles fight song, and these dudes just get up and fucking leave. Like they didn't even. They're just like fucking god damn it! Like we talked about that shit.
Yes, yeah, and they will do that. Like Cowboys fans, fucking Giants fans, they like talk so much shit, dude. Best experience I ever had watching a football game out of the area. I was TDY in Denver, Colorado. And in downtown Denver, there was a fucking bar, and it was a Philly bar. So all the Phillies games, the Flyers, Eagles games, packed out for all the fucking transplants. And I got to see a fucking game. I went in that same TDY. I saw the Rockies play my first game at Mile High, and I fucking was in that building. It was the Eagles and the Colts, and there was a handful of Colts fans in there. They quickly left. When we started, like, because that particular game, like, we got to sing the fight song fucking 5 times, man. It was fucking beautiful. Yeah. And the handful of people that made the mistake of being there that weren't Eagles fans, they had to quietly leave.
Yep.
Oh, dude, there's fucking. You can't. I will fucking take the Pepsi challenge to anybody else that says that the fucking Eagles fight song is the best.
Yeah. I mean, Giants fans even make parodies of it. So
yeah, exactly. Like you all wish you had this fucking song. Which is kind of a sidebar. So, do you think with the stadium being empty this year, do you think that they're going to have like the pyrotechnics and everything? Because I want to have the drone up. That's the whole reason I'm asking. Because I have I'm close enough to the city where if I put the drone up, I could see the stadium.
Yeah, I mean, I guarantee you they're going to be pumping crowd noise and all that bullshit, and they're doing the cutouts and all that shit.
So I was listening to a little bit of the Chiefs game on from Sirius XM, and I could hear the fucking crowd noise.
Well, they had people in the stands.
They did?
Yes. They were, I think
well, that makes more sense.
They were 25% capacity at the stadium.
Interesting.
Yeah. So some stadiums are going to have fans in the stands. Some aren't. We are not going to.
That's
yeah. It kind of sucks.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like there's okay. Yeah, we'll see how that plays out. That's the other thing too. Like all these games are you're limiting the home field advantage. Like Jason and I talked about on the pod. We're talking about fucking those fuckface Seattle people,
yep.
Like with their 12th man and all that bullshit. Like you want to talk about the worst football stadium in the country? Like that's it. Like I was at the very first game at that stadium. I was out there for school, and living in Seattle for like 3 months. They're talking, oh, they've got a brand new stadium, the Kingdom. They're it's gone, right? Get in that fucking building, and we were up top, right? It was just one of those things. This is something to do, so we got the cheapest tickets we could get. To get to a fucking concession, you had to go down like 75 flights of fucking stairs because it was the way it's shaped. It kind of goes like points like this. So if you're at the top of that shit, you got to go all the way to fuck down, and you go into the concessions, and it's like you're not at the game at all.
Yeah.
Or at least at the Link, there's so much open area in the Link where you could be walking around and just stand and watch the fucking game. Like you don't feel like you're completely isolated when you're at concession, which is a far cry from what the Vet was.
Yeah,
the Vet was like once you went to a concession to take a leak, you might as well fucking left the stadium completely because you didn't know there was a game going on unless you fucking listened to the radio or watching it on the fucking shitty ass TVs.
Yep. Sweet. Yeah. So we're going a little bit longer than I expected, just because we're sitting here bullshitting, telling Eagle stories.
The problem is when you have Dave on a fucking show, Dave talks.
I do have a couple things that I want to do before we get to our boy Brian Dawkins, man. So a couple little memories that I had of big hits are always one of those things that you remember. And I don't know if you remember this one. If I just say Sheldon Brown.
Ooh.
You remember a specific hit from Sheldon Brown?
I do remember. You got that queued up?
I do. On young Reggie Bush here, rookie in the league.
I remember this game.
Bush lines up as the tailback. Reeves swings it out to Bush.
And he tries to hop up. Like, oh, that didn't hurt. He's like, okay, that hurt. No, I'm good.
No, not. Motherfucker, your spleen just exploded. You need to.
He's just crawling.
A great defensive scheme by Jim Johnson because he brought pressure, but he's
Jim motherfucker. Oh.
And dude, like clean hit, he's shoulder into the
shoulder, not an Andre Waters hit where he's leaving with the crown of the helmet. Just
by the Philadelphia Eagles defense.
A Trotter coming in after that. Trotter's one of my guys too. I love the X-Man.
Yeah, so there was that one, and then speaking of our boy Brian Dawkins, this hit right here was one of my favorite Brian Dawkins hits ever.
From just outside the Philadelphia 40.
Oh, it's got to be the Crumpler. Yeah,
the Crumpler.
Yeah. Little pump fake. Now over the middle. Crumpler, what a throw. Hit, what a Algie Crumpler.
And he's like trying to get up, like that didn't hurt.
And that's not a running back. That's a fucking tight end. That's a big motherfucker.
It's a ball like a bull. He took a huge shot at the end of that play by Dawkins. But watch the little double move now. Turn out, go right back up, and at regular speed, look at the clean hit by Brian Dawkins. Just a great shot. One of those, you'll think about that one later.
And I tell you what, Michael Vick did a heck of a job pumping it.
Feeling them ribs later.
Dude, Dawkins had the mastery of timing. The reason he's a Hall of Famer is because he could put a fucking hit on you. He could put all the energy, all the physics of fucking getting his fucking 210 pounds airborne to fucking hit you, and then he would stand up. Like he would transfer all that fucking energy into you. You drop like a sack of fucking potatoes. He fucking stands there and just and fucking.
And then he would get in your head too. Like there was I don't know if you ever watched that. I'm sure you have the Weapon X documentary that they did. And I forget who it was he's talking to. He lays this big hit on somebody, and the dude gets up and he's like, "You can hit me all day, it don't matter." And Brian's like, "Yeah, but you're gonna feel me. You're gonna feel me." So like, yeah, okay. You want
that dude? That not. Putting aside just the amount of energy that he puts into fucking just the rest of the team, being that fucking the perfect cheerleader, getting in people's faces, and not even like for me, I'd be fucking cussing, fucking grabbing people. I'm gonna shit in your fucking helmet, that type of shit. Like this dude would get in there, and that one fucking clip where he's talking about fucking snot bubbles and all this other shit, and you're just like, yeah, motherfucker, woo, I want snot bubbles, woo,
and. Speaking of, at your request, I do have this queued up. Dude, like you said, like Brian Dawkins making you feel like you want to run through a wall. This is that shit right here.
How in the world did this defense do it?
First of all, hallelujah! Can y'all feel that? Can you feel what's about to happen on this field, man? Can you feel what we about to get into, dog? So whenever you in that doggone game, whatever you got to do to get whatever that's in you out, come out and bring your behind on, let me kick them.
Oh, go on.
WWE on that bitch.
That right there
Superman.
That's what we gonna do all freaking day and every day. Give me what you got. Domination, snot bubbles, crazy eyes, whatever. Let's dominate this thing.
Snot bubbles, crazy eyes.
Turn it up.
It's a face.
Wide open. It's
I
Brian.
remember that game.
Dawkins across the 10. McFarland. Touchdown.
You gotta forget about the past and that crazy today. They don't know about our heart, man. They don't know about our heart. Who bought the cake? Who bought the cake? It's party time. Respect is not given, it is earned, God dog. Whatever you got today, let me get that.
He steps away. They knock the ball loose. The Eagles
Again,
have it covered.
airborne.
My
Boom.
Big play starts with Brian Dawkins.
Romo.
Getting that football out.
Hi, Eli. He's even wearing a red shirt.
Looks, pumps, he is firing deep. Brian Dawkins interception.
Oh, there it is. Boom. I'll learn today. Look at that. Like nothing left. Yeah. That is the epitome of a fucking Hall of Famer right there. The dude that went in every fucking game, played the game at its highest level, and fucking never took a fucking game off.
Yep. And then just a little tidbit of NFL history right here.
I love it.
That's it.
Facts.
Brian,
Facts.
there's your list.
Yeah, dude. Brian Dawkins, when he would hit somebody in the stadium when you're watching it live, to listen, like the anticipation, like when you're in the building and you're fucking just anticipating, like, oh fuck, here it comes, and he would get in there and boom, hit somebody, the fucking building would explode. It just, you couldn't, like, the intensity, like in anticipation of him getting ready to hit somebody. And you get that a little bit today. Like Jenkins had something. Jenkins had something that was, I think, close to it.
He wasn't as raw though.
No, he didn't.
He was like Jenkins was like that, almost like that quiet professional. Like, you know, like you hear Navy SEALs and like special ops like talk about quiet professionals. That's the way I look at Jenkins. Like he just like. He was outspoken, you know, as a team leader and everything, but like he just didn't have that raw, just emotion and just wanting to rip somebody's head off.
I don't think he would like. He was a football player playing at his best, but nobody was afraid of him like they were Brian Dawkins.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean.
You respected Jenkins,
yeah,
but you didn't fear him. I
think Jenkins, for me, what closely equates him to Brian Dawkins was that locker room presence, because you know that Jenkins was in there. They had that Super Bowl team had everything they needed to have in that locker room. They had all the right people in place, and Jenkins was one of those people. And you know, I for one, it was like that's one of those where I was kind of sad to see that go, because you hope that the maturation process with some of these other players, like even the Fletcher Cox. You know, Fletcher Cox is a great fucking player, but he always struck me as the kind of like a little bit more of an adolescent in the fucking locker room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And look, that's I think that's the the marker of a team like that is like, as you get older and you get better, this is why you need to keep teams together. This is why you need to keep the Zach Ertz. When you get a guy like Jason Peters to come back, you keep the nexus of a team together so that they can mature in the locker room.
Yeah.
And that is a huge part. If you don't have the locker room, you could be a Cowboys team with all this fucking talent. And on paper, the Cowboys, like so many fucking idiots, have the Cowboys go fucking. Some of them got them into fucking winning the Super Bowl. Excuse me, and that you're basing that on fucking talent that's on paper.
Yeah. Where's
the locker room? Where's the fucking presence of that team? You have two fucking. You got one serial eating dipshit from fucking Ohio State.
Well, look at the fucking Eagles dream team, like. Just because you got a lot of fucking high-priced superstars on your team don't mean shit.
Yeah.
And we know it better than anybody.
Yeah, we've been through it. That's why we don't have to worry about it happening again. Like Jeffrey Lurie, like he put that team together, and I was on board with that. I was like, fuck, dude.
We got all these guys.
Right. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
Oh.
No fucking chemistry. How about that?
None at all. All these personalities.
Everybody was all about me, not about the team.
Yep.
But
I can't wait for football, man. I can't wait to watch this fucking Eagles team, and I pray they do well. And if they don't, it doesn't matter. I'll be colored up every game,
as always, man.
And it's a ride or die thing. I mean,
that's one thing about me, and I'm sure you like. No one like you look back through my fucking Facebook feed and everything. No one can ever accuse me of being a fucking bandwagon fan.
Yeah.
Because long before we won that Super Bowl, I was sporting the Eagle green.
Again.
Fucking Flyers who haven't won in my fucking lifetime.
Yeah, I was just born when they fucking last time Flyers won, I think.
They won the year before I was born.
Dude, like again, how I challenge people. It's like, okay, you think I'm a bandwagon kind of guy, which nobody has ever accused me of that. I don't project that at all. But if you want to go that route, like, and test it, I have a Mike Mamula jersey.
And that's one thing I will give to Dragon Buddy and Lunar Girl. There is they are definitely not bandwagon fans either, because they're all fucking go blue, no matter how horrible that fucking team is. Winning 2 games, winning 4 games. Maybe they get to like 6 or 8 wins this year. We'll see. But they're going to be go blue all the way.
and that's respectable. Yeah. And you understand it. My disrespect happens when you are a Cowboys fan and you grew up in Philly, and the only reason it's the Cowboys fans and the fucking Notre Dame fans, right? They have no, like, I remember this dude's walking around with Notre Dame shit on in high school, and like, what the fuck? Like, oh, it's because Notre Dame was popular.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, oh, you're wearing Notre Dame shit. Like, okay, well, who's the fucking quarterback of that team? Who's the last fucking Heisman Trophy winner? Like, do you know anything about college football? No, you're wearing it because you're a fucking schmuck. And then you got the Cowboys fans that fucking do it just because they want to go in and start trouble.
America's team.
Yeah, right. Driving around, like, pull up in a Wawa with your fucking Cowboys shit flag flying and everything else. I'm like, you know what, motherfucker? Okay. When you catch me pissing in your fucking gas tank while you're in Wawa getting a fucking sandwich, then you deserved it, obviously, because you fucking rolled up in a fucking Cowboys truck.
All right, man. Well, I know you got to get rolling here in a minute, so I got one last thing to do as we depart. But before that, any last shout outs?
No, man. Just check out Jason and I on the From a Gen X Point of View podcast. You can pick us up live on the YouTube. We tape, generally speaking, Monday nights. So if you want to watch us live on YouTube and participate in the chat, have at it. You can find us all over social media at Gen X POV. And
you will do
it.
All right, man. Well, yeah, it was definitely fun. Like I said, we could probably do this for 3 or 4 hours, but
fucking A, right?
You've got things to do. I've got things to do. So I think we'll just end it off this way. I'm gonna drop both of us off the screen here, and we'll let my man Jason Kelsey send us off.
Oh.
West didn't go to a Division I school. Nick Foles don't got it. Mark Clement's too slow. The Gambler ain't got it anymore. Jay and John can't stay healthy. Torrey Smith can't catch. Nelson Aguilar can't catch. Zach Ertz can't block. Brett Selleck's too old. Brandon Graham was drafted too high. Vinny Curry ain't got it. Mo Allen can't fit the scheme. Michael Kendrick can't fit the scheme. Malcolm Brandon can't catch. Jalen Mills can't cover. Patrick Robinson can't cover. It's the whole team. This entire organization, a bunch of driven men to accomplish something. We're a bunch of underdogs. And you know what underdogs is? It's a hungry dog. And Jeff Stoutland has had this in our building for 5 years. It's a quote in the O-line room that has stood on the wall for the last 5 years. Hungry dogs run faster. And that's this team. I don't know what it is. We wanted it more. All the players, all the coaches, the front office, Jeffrey Lurie, everybody wanted it more. And that's why we're up here today. And that's why we're the first team in Eagles history to hold that freaking trophy. You know what I gotta say? To all those people that doubted us, to all those people that counted us out, and everybody who said that we couldn't get it done. What my man Jay and John just said, fuck you.